Hi, everyone. It's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We are over 440 episodes in our vault, in our portfolio. So we are so grateful to have you along with us for this ride. Whether you've been with us from the beginning or whether this is your first episode, welcome. If you can give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, all free things to do. And if you can reach out to 25 of your contacts in your phone and let them know about the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We're number 3 behind the Joe Rogan Experience and the Dan Bongino Show. So for a slim staff, big goals, big mission. We're doing just fantastic work, and we're taking things day by day. Some days are better than others, as we all know that happens, and so that's what we're doing here at Voices for Voices Foundation on recovery, trauma recovery, or going through trauma, uh, around mental health. That's our main pillar, our main foundation. And we're just so grateful and thankful to have you with us, whether you're here in the United States or across the world. Help us reach 300 countries, territories, provinces, and help us reach 3,000 cities across the world, and help us reach 3 billion people plus over the course of my lifetime and beyond. I've already reached 1,000 cities and over 100 countries. So with your help, we can do it. And if you're able to, we are a 501c3 nonprofit charity. You can donate anytime if you head over to lovevoices.org. That's lovevoices.org. Lovevoices.org. Thank you very much. Wow, what a whirlwind. We've had uh, we've had a crazy winter, crazy weather, as we're kind of known for here where we live. We go from snow to 40s to -5, and we have a awesome day today with the sun shining brightly, blue skies, and we want to thank our creator. And I know that my dad and everybody who's passed is watching over us and uh, helping in whatever way that they can do. That's my belief. You don't have to have those beliefs, but those are my beliefs. And so it's a good day to be alive. It's a good day uh, to be with you, to talk with you, to share, to talk about different events that occur in our lives. That uh, some of it's uh, some of it's fun, some of it's not. Uh, I want to say first and foremost. So finished up. I've talked about in other shows. I've finished up my third round of braces, and I've finished the payment of the braces for the third time. Growing up, obviously being a kid growing up, um, um, my parents just heroes in my book, in my opinion. Uh, so this third time, it was a lot. We talk about having insurance and not, and so I did it, and I've talked about it on a previous episode. Going from crooked teeth to teeth that they say happy with, and then obviously there's the portion of uh, money that it does take with or without insurance. So very happy to be through with that. Uh, is Again, it's a commitment, and for me, it definitely helps optically, like from the outside, like it's something you can see, that I can see, and so that makes me feel uh, have one less thing, like no crooked teeth. So I don't have that anymore. And I had that, and it really bothered me mental health wise, because every conversation I would be in, I'd be afraid that somebody would notice my crooked teeth, and that might affect whether it's a job prospect or just a donor, a grant, and now I feel a little bit more confident and comfortable in those situations. And uh, yeah, I don't think thank God for putting the resources available to me, to my family, to my loved ones, to make this a reality. So from moving on from that, the Olympics are still going on. We're entering our last week. People are performing well. Uh, there's been some crashes and some different events, and I know Lindsey Vaughn. She just had surgery maybe a week or so prior to the Olympics kicking off, and uh, she unfortunately crashed, and had to be helicoptered off of the mountain. And I'm not sure exactly what the extent of her injuries were, but I think it was an emergency surgery that she had to undergo. And you can't really fault somebody. I mean, our bodies are only meant to do so much, and she tried. She gave it her all, and things could have went better, or it could have ended up how things did. And I think it's just a testament to people that are going through hardship, that like there's no way somebody I even was thinking about that. I'm like, there's no way she's going to be able uh to compete after having a surgery a week or less than a week prior to the Olympics kicking off. And I was surprised. I was wrong. It's okay if I'm wrong. I don't Doesn't bother me. I know I'm not perfect, so sometimes I'm going to be wrong. Sometimes I'm going to maybe be right, just like all of us. Sometimes we're wrong, sometimes we're right. And she surprised me by suiting up after the surgery, and went through some qualifying round, and did well. And then the actual event itself was where she unfortunately had a crash, and again had to be taken to the hospital for an emergency surgery. But it's that kind of fortitude, that kind of it's hard to really come into words of what that really does. Uh, Obviously, it is her competing, but from a higher level, it really to me shows to me that Lindsay was and is a believer in being able to overcome uncertainty, uh, overcome events, surgeries, things that could take somebody and they'd be like, all right, I'm out. I I, I just can't do it. Uh, I don't want to risk hurting myself any further. And we're not all like that. I know I'm a little bit like that, but when it comes to certain things where we have to kind of just pack it up and go, okay, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Uh, so for her to do what she did was just really amazing. And it should show us that, especially with the Olympics, and we've talked about this in the past, it's so hard to even make it to the Olympics. It's so hard to qualify. There's so many different races or matches or games or events that have to the people have to go through and qualify to even make it to the Olympics. And I think that might have been part of it with Lindsay of saying, I had to go through all these qualification uh, ski runs, and I don't know if I'll have another chance. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'm going to give it my best and see. And this time it turned out to be a crash. Next time it might turn out to be a gold medal. I'm not really sure. Uh, but when we talk about mentally and physically, with that many people watching across the world, somewhere around 100 million, 200 million people watching. So it's not just like, okay, I'm going through this event, I'm doing it, uh, and there's just the people, that we see at the for skiing, let's call it. We just see, a smaller group of people, friends, family, waiting at the bottom of the mountain for for the completion of that particular event. That there's 100, 200 million people like you and I that are watching, might watch highlights, uh, and that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. We have a goal, like I said, of wanting to reach and help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. I know we're well on that road. Uh, I've mentioned in the past some of the ways that have really propelled us, and so I have a little bit of that every time that I come in front of you, whether you're watching and viewing one of our shows or whether you're listening. That I'm still in awe of how many people, how many staff members, how many dignitaries, uh, how many human beings are consuming the Voices for Voices podcast TV show. Really just remarkable. So I have a little bit of understanding with these Olympic athletes. We talked about figure skating, right? So they call them the program. So some of the programs, which is the amount of time skating, some of it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, uh, and they do it to qualify. Then they do it, for finals to see who's going to be on the podium for gold, silver, bronze medal. Which, fun fact, that the gold medal has more silver than has gold in it. We've talked about that on a previous show way back when the Paris Olympics were going on a couple of years ago. So we definitely dive into that topic. Little fun fact. Uh, that if the full gold medal now, if the gold medal was all gold, it'd be worth, I think, 80 some $1,000 for each gold medal. I think it was 1812, or it was a long time ago, which was the last time that the gold medal was 100% gold. And now it, as I just mentioned, is mostly silver with gold in it as well. So that's just an interesting, fun fact. Uh, but yeah, every time we come together, we're here to unite. We're not here to divide. We're here for culture, not politics, and we just like to share that. It's interesting to share because there's so many shows out there, and to find your niche of, okay, who am I targeting? Who do I want to have my message, my show, the topics. Some of them are like this, where we're reviewing parts of other shows, and then we're adding tidbits, of more recent events in there that we're sharing. Uh, but the reason why we're doing it is to really show somebody practices for months, years, for hours. Uh, they're uh, they're giving up, depending on the ages of the individuals. They're giving up time with their family, their loved ones, to do the practicing and what's required. And as someone who has had a long-term relationship, uh, long distance, it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. Uh, and so when you get individuals that may have a bad event, that doesn't define them at all, which is something that, our society, we're like, oh, they're not that good because they didn't perform that well. And we can't, as Scott Hamilton says, we can't judge a person, which, first off, we shouldn't be judging anyone anyways. That aside, we shouldn't be thinking, oh, well, that person, they're not that good because they didn't perform as well. We all have good days. We all have not so good days. Uh, Again, the pressure is. I mean, I remember at many different times being at a speaking engagement, teaching, other things, different media events, TV shows, other podcasts, where I'm almost frozen. And when I mean frozen, I mean, like, if I wanted to move my arm, like, to wave hi, thanks for joining, like, I couldn't, because I was literally frozen. And until you're there at that point, it's hard to understand that. Uh, Not to say that I'm by no means, again, I'm no perfect person at all. At all. No way. None of us are. So there's going to be some times where we're going to freeze up and go, and then we're going to go through the motions, even no matter how many hours, no matter what preparation we did. We're still going to have, a performance or an interview, uh, a book, you name it, that's just not going to be as good as others. And it's okay. I think that's the big takeaway. It's okay. I know it's hard to not worry about it. Like, people are gonna think I'm not that good, that they're not gonna buy my new book. They're not going to tune into my show. Uh, well, be that as it may, maybe they don't, but there's going to be those people. And I know firsthand there's people that watch day in and day out the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast, even if maybe the donations aren't coming from them, just the mere fact that they're watching and listening shows that there's some sort of reason why they're watching and listening. Uh, I don't want to guess why they're watching, listening, uh, but they do. And so when you're talking 440 episodes, we're getting to that point, if we're not already there, of I mean, I don't want to say podcast and TV show royalty in a way, but we are. There's so many people they'll have a show for, like, for the Olympics. Okay, there's many people that'll have shows for the Olympics, and the shows will go maybe 20 episodes, 25. I don't know. They'll just go to length of the particular thing that they're talking about or that's going on. But then to go 100 episodes, there's even less people. 200 less, 300 less, 400 less, 440 even less. And so when I sit here and you watch me, when you listen, you can hear and see the passion I have for what we do, for talking about my mental health, my mental illnesses, what I have to go through day in and day out. It's not fun. I don't enjoy a lot of the things as far as regimens and medications and you name it, uh, therapy, all these things. And they're all wonderful. I'm the first to tell you now, like I have been, that these are wonderful things that are available. So if that's something that you want to do, you need to do, make it happen, do it. I just recently started a different regimen as far as how how recent or how how many days in between visits for therapy and that. And I'm 8 years into this, so there's going to be ebbs and flows. Uh, and I can say for that I feel a lot stronger because I did do this, made this change. But you got to do what you need to do. Don't do what I'm doing. Maybe let me be a part of the research that you do. I can be a research point and say, okay, I watch and listen to this Voices for Voices show, and their host does this. But you got to find what you need. Maybe the therapist that you reach out to, maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe uh, just don't get along. Maybe they cut you off. They don't let you talk, or for whatever reason, it's not a bad thing. There's other therapists out there. There's other providers out there, and that's okay. That's called taking your life and your specialties. Like I take my specialties and find, and then right now I found, but there's going to be down the road where I'm probably going to have to find another and then find another and find another. It's just how much you want to put into, the mental side of things. And I know we talked about how if somebody's being interviewed at the Olympics that It should be all about the event and the country they're representing, because that's what the Olympics is. They represent the athletes are representing a country, and they made it to the Olympics because of an event, not because of politics, not because of other things. And so while it's okay to talk about those things, there's a time and a place. Um, we want more people to talk about it. We want more people to say it's okay. We want people to be a little bit more understanding and not try to just downplay it. But when you're being interviewed at the Olympics for an event, after an event, after a game, after a match, talk about that. Talk about what it took, the practice, the dedication, uh, being happy that you're able to represent a particular country. Uh, that's what it all should be about, because that's what it is. We turn on the Olympics, and they have the medal count. So like whatever country has the most gold, silver, bronze. But there's so many other people that tried so hard, and they're going to be interviewed too. And it's okay. It's okay if we don't do our best every single day, because we're human beings. We don't. It's just a known fact that we're not perfect. So to have any expectation that we are would just not be very helpful. Uh, so that the reason I'm bringing this up and these topics up again, number one, is because it's a bright, sunshiny day where I live, and so there are things and topics that are what I want to share, what I want to talk about, because the sun's out, there's blue sky. We don't always get that with weather. We don't always get blue skies and sunny. Uh, we have the groundhog. It does their thing, whether they see the shadow or not. Uh, that's mostly for theatrics. Uh, so when I see a day like today, it helps me ground myself in what I'm doing, from the mental side of not only that I'm safe, I'm okay at this very instant. That's all I can do. At this very instant, it's a beautiful day outside. It's still a little chilly, but it's still beautiful just to look out a window and see and go, wow, it's this time of day, and there's blue sky, and I can, see a trail from a an airline jet flying overhead. Um, and so talking about really what's current and relevant, as we do from time to time. Some other times we back up and we look at things in the past, and other times we look at things in the future. But I think it's just very important to just take stock in that. We, from a family standpoint, we uh, we babysat a pet for a couple days, and that was so cool, so fun to see our child interact uh, with the with the pet. And I mean, I'd be remiss not to say that it was nice. It was neat to see. It was neat to be a part of. Uh, through my years, we didn't have an indoor pet. I mean, unless you talk about like a goldfish or a betta fish, and that's okay. We don't we don't have to have all these things. The what the word is, the opportunity that came about, it just so happened it came about. Sometimes those opportunities don't come about, and so we did. So it was neat, and so maybe that's where some of my positiveness, where talking about the topics today on this show are coming from, because there's all kinds of evidence that shows having a service animal, or an animal in general, uh, that gets along. So they get along with the family. The family gets along with the pet, and all that. It helps from a uh, compassion standpoint, and so I think I enjoy that. Uh, I know with certain hospitals they have uh, comfort and support animals that sometimes they visit patients, uh, just for a minute or two. Maybe they come up to them, maybe depends on what the patient is in hospital for. They may not be as not supportive of, might not be as mobile and able to pet the dog. Some of it is just mental, like, oh, there's a support animal. So that was something that was also neat the last couple of days. So a sunny day, and actually it was 2 days in a row, a sunny day, and then being able to babysit a uh, a pet for a couple of days. It was kind of neat. I have to say it was fun. It was neat to see my child interact with it, so kind and gentle, and just so happy and wanting to help. And I get it. It was 2 days, wasn't 2 years, wasn't 20 years. But things like that are like what we call like the little things in life. And I enjoyed it. I know my wife did. I know our child did. And so that gives us another perspective on that. Maybe we get a pet sometime. Maybe we don't. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to turn out to be. But just from a a human standpoint, the the more positive vibes, as I mentioned, usually at the end of our shows, the more positive vibes we can get is is the best. We never can have too many, people praying for us, people sending good vibes our way. Uh, we can never have too many. I mean, uh, it's just an amazing thing to have people thinking about other people, and to have the babysit this pet for a couple days. A living, breathing pet. Uh, it was a lot of fun. It was it was neat. It was cool. Whatever the words are, to do it, because I wasn't crazy at first, because I didn't know what to expect. And I think that's what we are, right? When we don't know what to expect, it's a little bit, things are a little bit more, cause a little more anxiety or stress. At least that's the way it is for me. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know, like, yeah, I just don't know what to expect. Like, what am I going to be able to do? Am I going to be able to work on certain things? Am I not? And and that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But those are things that I was thinking about. at, before we actually had the pet inside of our where we live. But then once the pet was in, it was like, oh, okay, I can do this, I can do that. I'm not going to be able to do this one thing, not going to be able to do this other thing, but it's okay. And it's changes and adaptations that makes us human too. Being able to, and we talk about it a lot on the show, being able to adapt from, day to day, from warm weather, sunshine to no sunshine, super cold weather, snow, ice, you name it. Being able to adapt, having the clothing that we can wear given the weather and all the other variables that get thrown at us each and every day. So that's why we say just living is extraordinary. And we talked about this on a previous show, so I won't belabor the point. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We love you. We're thinking about you. We're sending good vibes, praying for you. Uh, if you're able to, give us the thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, all free things to do. And if you can, reach out to 25 contacts in your phone and let them know about the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Over 440 episodes. I I can almost guarantee that at least 40 or 50 of those, if not more, are going to really strike a chord, and you're going to want to watch and you're going to want to listen to. So thank you so much. If you're able to, please, please donate. Voices Lovevoices.org. 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 And spelled out LOVEVOICES.org. Thank you so much. It's been Justin Allen Hayes with you here, Voices for Voices, and we will see you on our next show. So have a great day and be safe. And we're thinking about you. We're praying for you. We're sending good vibes your way. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you and see you soon. Bye-bye.